So hello and welcome back to Scriptcase by Jamie, and yes, I have coffee with me today. It's highly needed, especially after recording the last few tips that I've just gave you guys. But for now, after the intro. And welcome back to Scriptcase by Jamie. Today's topic, well, it is debugging your applications. One of my clients had asked me to create a video on debugging. So why not? Here you go. Here is a video on how to debug your applications, because debugging is very important. So before I show you within one of the applications and how to debug your applications, because there are in fact a few different ways to do that, let's first talk about what debug is, just in case you do not really know what debug is and it's just one of those words that fly around the ether and you just think it's another bug. And well, it is kind of a bug, but it's not. It is more of the bug hunting. Okay, so when you debug an application, you check for errors. You are checking what is happening. You're outputting your data. Okay, so the easiest way to do that within Scriptcase is to start up an application. So let me go ahead and do that. I will start here, say, with a grid application, and you can tell, yes, I'm still within the samples environment. And funny enough, Scriptcase hasn't kicked me out yet, but if you group all the videos together, just check out the time and you're going to see how long it's actually taken me to record these videos for you guys. A morning, which is great because I have a busy day today. So let's dive in. If I start here, then a grid application, so a grid with filter, that would do. I'll just grab one of these. This one's actually starting a search first. So this one uses the search filter. So let's start that one and run that grid application. And here we have just a basic search. That's what this one is actually showing off, how to just configure the advanced search. Okay, because that's what this is. Using the button is using the advanced search. And that, just so in case you're not aware, is that checkbox here at the beginning. And of course the button in the toolbar. Don't forget about those buttons, okay? So if I save the application, I'm just going to leave it then as it was. It still has the search enabled. Now, within this application, it connects to the database. So if we come here to SQL, we can see here the SQL statement. Now we can come in here and we can customize this in any shape or form that we want. And right now, we do not see that in the background. So by enabling debug or debugging the application, let's say, we would then basically see this select. So if I scroll down here on the left hand side and choose here application and then come here to settings and scroll down here, we have here the debug mode. Now notice also we have here the script error, the SQL error, as well as the Ajax error output. Okay, now we have the toast alerts there as well, which is awesome. That's probably another video, but toasts are really cool. So here are these errors. And notice by default here, the SQL error is on, and in a lot of applications, you'll generally find you will have the script error on as well. And of course, you can remove these and any errors would then no longer be displayed. But now if I enable here the debug mode, which I've just done, I've just checked here the box here, and I save then the application and now run, now we can see the select that occurs. Now this one at the top here, this is the main select. This is the select from this grid. Okay, so that is what you're basically seeing right here within this SQL. Okay, so here we have the select count from customers, and then we're selecting our fields and limiting it. Right, so then below that Within the grid application, we see here the select state name from state, where state ID equals SA. That is then here from the field. So if I come here to the field, we have the state ID as well as the city ID, which are using here an automatic lookup. And there is then that select. So that is then what is displayed here within the fields. Okay, so we can see then with that, these are the variables that are being passed along, and that is then our select statement that we have there, and it's working, or it's not working, or it's not outputting as we expect it to be. Okay, now for a form application, so if I come here to a form application, and let's choose here the business rules and validating tables with dependency. Let's do that. So let's run this one. Okay, and here we have 3 fields, for instance. And again, if I scroll down here, application and settings, and again scroll down, notice here SQL error and Ajax error output are enabled. So if you don't want errors displayed, you will want to disable those. And of course, I enable here the debug mode, run the application, and then I see all of the data that is an output. Now, it is important to note that if you are adding your own code within methods and events and so forth, then you will want to debug that data yourself. And the way of doing that is really just an echo. And if I show you here, for instance, not an insert, but if we come here for selecting fields from another table. Now here we have the if isIt, okay, from this basic select. Now this is essentially outputting the data, and all you're doing basically when you're going to debug your code is echo that statement. So here I would then echo a variable that I am wanting to output. And I may not want to output it, I may want to pass it along or use it within another method or function or feature, whatever that may be. Now, by echoing it, I can then view that content. So here in this case, where we fill in our fields, so if I remove this, we would then select our table rows, our names, our titles from our table, where it's then, for instance, the state ID, as we do for the grid just now. Okay, we don't need to do that here, but in this case, we assign here the field to this value here. Now, what I could do is actually replace this for a variable, right? And then with that variable, I may then not know what that variable is, unless I echo that and essentially debug that script or this code. Okay, and of course when I want to remove it, I can just comment it out or delete it. Now before I finish up, I should note that if you come here into the tools and internal libraries, and if you have imported many of the Scriptcase projects, there is a library here which does output all of your debug data. It actually performs a complete dump. I don't remember the name of it because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but there is one there. You just have to find it in here. It'll probably take you a little while. But with that, you could also just import it also into your own project, or of course, don't forget PHP. You can create your own debug code. Okay, and just dump it however you like. Export it to a text file if that's really something you wanted to do. You can do all of that within Scriptcase. Okay, so I hope that has helped, and that is the basic form of debugging your forms, your grids, and of course, don't forget that a lot of these settings are actually universal within the Scriptcase applications. So debug is available pretty much everywhere. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. And of course, if you haven't, comment, let me know you haven't liked it. Giving it a thumbs down, you can do that too, but I won't know anything. I won't be the wiser, I'm afraid. So until then, be safe and take care.